What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna go over 10 superheroes with physical disabilities. Before we get on the video, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and let's get straight on the video with number 10, Puck. Eugene Milton Judd suffers from dwarfism. His name suits him well because although small, he is very tough, an obvious reference to the Canadian background of the character and Canada's correlation to hockey. Known for utilizing his body as a weapon, as well as his exceptional acrobatic skills, Puck did not have any super abilities, but rather relied on his combative intuition and support from teammates. Fans appreciated the honesty and uniqueness of the character, so when writers rewrote his origin story, it's understandable why some were more than upset. Judd was explained to be a normal adventurer who turned into a dwarf by a demon. Fans saw this change as an insult to people with his actual condition and wondered why they even changed it in the first place. Number 9, Barbara Gordon. In The Killing Joke, we see Batgirl undergo the most traumatic and life-changing experience of her existence. Here, the Joker shoots Barbara Gordon in the spine to enrage her father, Commissioner Gordon. Because of this, Batgirl becomes paralyzed from the waist down, but afterwards, she becomes Oracle, a computer genius who even becomes the director of the Birds of Prey. She quickly rose to be one of the all-time favorite female lead characters, and fans love that even though her disability kept her from doing her former hand-to-hand fighting, Barbara still found a way to be just as badass and resourceful. So when the New 52 began, fans couldn't help but be angry learning that she was written to be fully functioning once more. Number 8, Captain Marvel Jr. Captain Marvel Jr., or rather Freddie Freeman, went from a life-ruining scenario to one that readers only wish they could find themselves in a very short time span. In a fight between Captain Marvel and his enemy Captain Nazi, Freddy is hit and loses the ability to use his left leg, as well as losing his grandfather. So far, this sounds like the worst day ever for the boy. However, pitying the young man for his losses, Captain Marvel gives part of his powers to Freeman. After saying the words Captain Marvel, Freeman would now transform into his alter ego Captain Marvel Jr. It's notable that he's the only character in this realm of characters whose word to change isn't Shazam, which is apparently an effort by the writers to draw more viewers to their original Captain Marvel series. Anyways, once he has transformed, Freddy regains control of his body on top of his other powers. Number 7, Echo. As a child, many thought that Echo was mentally disabled due to the fact that she would not reply or listen, but in fact, she was deaf. Later on, she even upholds the identity of a Ronin, who is a bit of an anti-hero. She wields a sword and wears a mask, which is why many fans and readers had no idea who the identity of her was. Although we haven't seen her in any X-Men movies yet, it would be awesome to see how Marvel portrays this one-of-a-kind hero on the big screen. Number 6, Hawkeye. Fans who have seen him only in the Avengers films may not know this, but Hawkeye has been deaf for quite some time. This could be either by the work of a psycho clown or due to the detonation of a sonic hero. Anyways, the highly skilled archer Clint Barton hasn't been able to hear for a while. The comics have shown this in multiple ways, from characters making jokes about it to the clever method of having speech bubbles be empty and sound effect words being left out to indicate Barton's inability to hear. Hawkeye holds a cool spot in the Marvel universe as he acts as a good role model and hero for those fans who have been partial or full deaf, making him relatable. Number 5, Vengeance Moth. Drew Fisher was part of a vigilante and activist group known as The Movement. A victim of muscular dystrophy, Drew Fisher is almost always seen in a wheelchair. This condition is hereditary, and the effects are very weak muscles that continuously degrade over time. However, as a hero, Vengeance Moth has very unique and special abilities. She can summon a moth that allows her to have complete mental control of her body, making her able to use it fully, even though only temporarily. In addition to this, Fisher can fly, shoot energy beams, and create a protective force field for herself. Although her time in the comics was very limited, it was refreshing to see a character in a situation like hers with unique abilities. Number 4, Professor X. Charles Xavier is a pretty unique type of superhero, able to lead the X-Men, one of the most powerful superhero teams of all time, without even having the use of his legs. This requires not only a tremendous amount of mental strength through his telepathic ability, but also large amounts of leadership ability and caring to lead such a diverse team. He was also one of the leaders who fought for mutant coexistence with humans, which always made him seem like an all-around likable guy and father figure to other main characters. It is clear that Xavier has managed to show that you can be a highly impactful person even without being able to use your legs. Number 3, Komodo. Komodo faces a strange situation regarding her disabilities. She is a double amputee who was never able to walk until she was given her abilities by a scientist named Dr. Kurt Connors. Connors is also known as the Lizard, a supervillain who transforms into, well, a lizard, mostly losing control of his body in the process, much like the Hulk. Komodo has the ability to keep her consciousness when she transforms, as well as gaining protective skin and better reflexes. To top that, she also has a pair of legs in this form, giving her a release from the time she spends crippled. It's very nice to see her with this ability, but for some reason, Marvel always seems to rib on the character, ranging from characters mocking her human form to coming close to taking away her transformation powers. Number 2, Cyborg. Victor Stone's parents would constantly perform strange tests on their child with the goal of increasing his intelligence, which seems widely irresponsible. It got much extreme than that though, as they also opened a portal that led through some sort of monster. This proceeds to mangle the young boy, only to experiment more on him. He is practically rebuilt from scratch with an assortment of robotic parts that makes him shinier than a new car while giving him superhero powers. Despite having clearly some awful parents who constantly put him at risk, Stone was able to still go on and be a highly successful member of groups such as Teen Titans and the Justice League. Now that is quite the comeback even by comic book standards. And number 1, Daredevil. Matthew Murdock's origin story is so ironic that it almost seems planned. When a truck carrying radioactive waste is about to run over a blind man, young Matthew decides to help and pushes him out of the way. In the process, the radioactive material leaves him blinded like the man he saved. However, with the loss of sight, all of his other senses increase to superhuman levels. His sense of smell, touch, and hearing are so precise and accurate that it virtually replaces his seeing abilities. Because of this, he eventually earns the name Daredevil, since without the sense of sight, a man has nothing to fear. And that is it for the video, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Valenplana, and I'll see you all later.